Welcome to 3Oul 3Isters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching us here live on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. It is such a beautiful day yet again to be here to see and to listen to ladies' stories. And when we talk about 3Oul 3Isters, we mean the sisterhood. And when we are here with our sisters, you find that we discuss issues. We've had so many people in this show that have shared their stories, they have inspired, people have learned something out of it, and others do not even want to repeat what happened to other people. So it's such a good thing to have people come to this show to share their issues. I am again bringing you one of the super ladies, 3Oul 3Isters, all the way from Nachifuma, and she's the head teacher of Vision of Africa, Nachifuma. In the show today, I am here with Madam Edith Ntege, and she's here looking very nice. You know, one thing I know about teachers, they are always smart. They are always smart. So, Madam Edith, you're most welcome to 3Oul 3Isters.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you. Looking lovely.
Thank you.
Yes. So, from this looking lovely, I want to ask you, Madam Edith, where were you born and which schools did you go to?
Thank you so much. I want to thank you, BC, for hosting me, for thinking about a lady like me. I am Edith Nambasa Ntege, married to Mr. Ntege, a teacher by profession, a mother of 4 children, 1 beautiful girl and 3 handsome boys. I was born in Bweyogerere. Bweyogerere is now Chira Municipality, Wakiso District. Although we shifted to Chiwanga, somewhere there near Seta, along Ginger Road. That's where I was born. My father lives there, and my mother now lives in Kachiri after Wakiso. Yeah, those are my parents.
So, Madam Edith, for you, a city girl, born in the city.
I would say.
So, which schools did you go to in your primary? Or you first went to nursery?
I went to nursery for 1 year in Bweyogerere there. And after 1 year, I think they realized I was bright enough to join P1. P1, I went to Kamuli Primary School. Kamuli is found near Naria, between Chireka and Naria.
Oh, this Kamuli, the one which goes to join Agenda, the other side. Ah, okay.
Between Chireka and Naria, there's Kamuli Primary School. Now it's a UPE school. Those days, I think it was a school like any other. And I was there for the 7 years. I used to move from Bweyogerere. After Bweyogerere town, as you move towards Namamve, there is a Total petrol station now. The other side is Shell, around there. That's where I used to move from to go to Kamuli Primary School every day.
So how was the experience?
Being a young child, it was a normal one. Walking in the first few years, we would walk barefooted. A few days when the shoes are torn, you walk barefooted until my father would get money for shoes. And they would enjoy life for sure. Because from there, we used to go to Chira playground for games, walking. Jesus. And from Chira, you walk back to Bweyogerere after the games. Being that time of the 1980s, no borders, no. It was normal. At this time, I can't do that, but then it was very normal. It was.
And also there was a community upbringing of children. People used to take care of children, unlike today. So after Kamuli Primary, where did you go to for your secondary?
After Kamuli Primary, there was some few challenges there as I joined secondary. I put my first choice in St. Mary's Namagunga. I didn't get the 4 and 5, which they wanted. I got 7 aggregates. So they didn't take me. My father struggled to get me a secondary school. We moved to so many schools.
And those days it was admission.
Yes.
Nothing like you go back doors or something.
Even the schools were a bit few, so it wasn't easy. So I got a school in Western Uganda, and I was there for senior 1. And later on, I was changed from there, and I was taken to Uganda Matters Namgongo. That's where I completed my O-level from.
Wow, you are the first cream of Namgongo.
Dr. Muyingo.
Nowadays we fear na mgongo.
Those days, Dr. Mingo had just joined and was trying to rehabilitate the school, put it back in shape. We are the people who did that.
Wow.
And we were lucky to be there when he was there.
And you set the pace because Namugongo is one of the good schools we have in Uganda, actually.
A very good one.
So afterwards, where did you go for your secondary?
After
I mean for A-level.
A-level, I went to the mighty Makerere College School. Yeah. I was there for S5 and S6.
And then I want to know, because, you know, being a head teacher, it starts when you're young. When you're in primary and secondary, did you ever hold any leadership role, like a class montress or something? I
think I would start from my home before going to school.
Yes.
I happen to be a firstborn in my family. And I do the firstborn role.
Yes.
And when I was in school, I was only a class monitor, especially in O-level. O-level is where I was a class monitor. In A-level, I was in charge of just a group in the literature class. Yeah.
So then at home, now that you've talked to you, the firstborn, I have hosted firstborns here. Dr. Ziwa Margaret is also a firstborn, and she says coming as a firstborn, you come out with a lot of responsibilities.
Exactly.
So besides at school, what were you doing at home? You know, because there is working and then you are a firstborn. Take us through what the life was like.
I grew up in a family with a very tough father. A very tough father, and that shaped my discipline for sure. He's still alive, and I thank him so much for that. Perhaps if he wasn't, I wouldn't be what I am. But a firstborn in a family is a firstborn for life. Even now, I am a firstborn. People
so it is a permanent role.
Exactly, we're firstborn for life. So while at home, I was a firstborn who was also responsible, and God blessed me with wisdom. Yes. I was performing very well in class. I think that is my firstborn work. People can believe in you when you are also performing well.
Yes.
But if you're a firstborn who is a failure, then it really stresses.
So now, after Makerere College, where did you go to for your university?
I went to Makerere University and did Bachelor of Arts with Education. And my teaching subjects are economics and history. After some years, of course, I first worked, got married, got some children. Then I enrolled for Masters at Uganda Christian University and did clinical counseling psychology.
Yes.
So I'm both a teacher
and a clinical psychologist.
Yes, a counseling psychologist.
And then you are the firstborn. Yes. All those three things. Yes. That's why I told you that you were a serious super soul sister, because, you know, having all those things come together. But let me first ask you, was education your first choice ever when you're growing up?
Very good question. It wasn't, to speak the truth. My first choice was social work and social administration. I loved, my dream was to work with an NGO, work with needed people, assist the needed people, based. Move here and there, assisting them. That's what I wanted when I was in high school. I put education as second choice. So the government gave me education and not social work. But I really thank God that I'm now doing social work. Finally, I'm doing social work because I work with an NGO. The school which I head is owned by an NGO, and we help needed children. I'm doing a lot of social work there, much as I'm a teacher.
Wow.
So I am at home.
So don't you see how God, sometimes we say, I want to be this, I want to be this, and then later on,
a different path can still take you.
It is very funny. For me, I did a degree in drama. I wanted drama, but my first choice was either journalism or law. And I grew up knowing that I'm going to either do journalism or law. But then along the way, because I had this drama thing in me, I'm like, okay, if I don't get law, I'll do journalism. If I don't get journalism, then I get drama. So, but as I said, God always, when you talk about something, takes you where you are. Now I did my drama. After dramas, I went back and did my master's. Now I'm in journalism and also drama, just like you.
My father wanted me to do law. Actually, after senior 6, he tried to look for exchange program, but it was expensive for me to do law. We settled with what the government gave me.
Wow.
And it has been a good one.
It has been a good one. So now, you finished education. I want you to take me through the experience, because I usually see teachers struggling when they finish to see which schools they are going to be placed. Were you placed in the school? How did you even, which schools did you start teaching from? Maybe you can take us through that.
I would say I am blessed. God has really blessed me, because I've never looked for a job.
You are blessed indeed, Madam
Even
Edith.
if I'm a teacher in an era where there are many teachers. I started teaching before graduating, doing what we call cheyo. But while the school where I was working, it is my father who had a friend there who told him, my daughter needs to do some cheyo. So I was there for 1 year. But my second school, we do two school practices. One in second year, another one in third year. So where I went for school practice in third year is a school owned by the father of my very close friend. I did after school practice, you now look for a job. Whether they retain you there or you go away and look for another one. But I was lucky. The school was starting A-level and they wanted teachers of my subjects.
Wow.
So I was given a job just like that. And while I was still there, an opening came in St. Joseph's, Nagalama. I was given a job there.
Wow.
I worked there for 17 years. And while I was still there, someone came looking for me. They were looking for a head teacher for a new school called Vision for Africa High School. So after 17 years, I now shifted to Vision for Africa, this time as a head teacher.
So now, before we go to the head teacher, I want to use the famous Luganda word people say, Otwala Sipidi. I still don't twala Sipidi.
You talked about work.
Work. So I want to take you back to after you've taught for 17 years. But you had mentioned earlier that you thank God that you both, you wanted to be a social worker and now you're a social worker and then also a teacher. So how did you even come to know about Vision of Africa, and how was the process of picking you out of so many?
When we are doing our work, it's not only God who watches. Everybody around us is watching. I keep telling my colleagues that you work. You never know, the member of your department will recommend you somewhere. While I was at Nagalama, I held a number of responsibilities. I was first assistant senior lady, then I became, when my boss retired, I became the full senior lady. I was in charge of counseling. I was in charge of non-academic programs. I was the chairperson disciplinary committee for so long. And I think multitasking like that put me at an advantage. My colleagues kept telling me, Edith, you are overdue for a promotion. This was a Catholic school, and I am not Catholic. So I couldn't get any big office there. But I was very capable, very capable. In fact, I was acting as the deputy teacher. So when people came looking for a head teacher, it is one of my colleagues who said, take that lady.
You will not regret.
Yes. So someone...
And you didn't even do interviews, they just headhunted you.
I did. After headhunting, again you were taken to the bosses for interviews. And the secret investigations were done. Because this school is in Nachifuma. I was working in Nagama, very near. So many people knew me. After all those investigations, after being interviewed by all my bosses, they realized I was the best person for the job.
How did you feel?
When my boss told me that you are taking on, at first they were looking for a deputy, by the way. After the interview, told me, you can make a good head teacher. We shall get back to you. My husband was not around. He had gone somewhere far. When he came back, I told him, hey, there is this, this, and that. He said, I give you my blessing. you can take it on. I really felt good because I am a performer. I'm a performer.
And being the firstborn, you're already trained by nature, you know? Wow. True. So now, being a head teacher, I want now to bring you back to the NGO.
Yes.
The NGO you work with is also called Vision of Africa.
Vision for Africa
Vision
International.
for Africa International.
Yes.
And when I looked through the school, you know, because you guys are on social media, the school looks beautiful and you do quite a lot. You help the disadvantaged. which I believe you're happy because you wanted to be
A social worker.
a social worker. So God brought it in a silver plate, like, you know, you've done your teaching enough, now I want you to do this. And it's a Christian-based founded school.
Yes.
So how do you people even get these children who are needy?
The NGO called Vision of Africa International is quite big. It has schools, nursery schools, primary schools, a secondary school, and vocational schools.
Wow.
And other projects, clinics, hotels, and so on. Now, the founder, Mama Maria Priyan, came to Uganda as a missionary to spread the gospel and to assist the needy African child. So for her, she wants to see the African child move from one step to another. There is a sponsorship office. Our headquarters are in Chiyunga along Mukono Kayunga Road, after Mpoma and Kabembe, Chiyunga. That office goes all over Uganda and looks for the needy children. Wow. They work hand in hand with the area authorities and they identify these children right from nursery. So for me, I get them in senior 1, but when they are being sponsored from nursery school, criteria is they move to the villages, identify the needy, then they verify, then they register you. You must be needy for you to join Vision for Africa.
Not these the way nowadays things are done in Uganda. I know Madam Edith fixed my child also.
Because they visit the home and they prove that the child comes from a needy family. Yes.
Wow, that is interesting. So how many children are you, like the school now, how many children do you support? Because I know that you have a private section,
yes,
and then you have a sponsorship section.
In total, there are about 1,450.
Wow.
Those are the sponsored.
Both girls and boys?
Yes.
But now, because, you know, sometimes people get sponsorship and they come, and how do you manage them? Because if they are coming from devastating families, destitute families, how do you even manage to deal with them?
The socioeconomic background is not so desirable. It's not the best. But when they come to school, we treat them like any other child. It is true many of them come from broken families. Many of them are visited by judges. Yes, they are the ones who come to school whom you can't explain to something in English. But when they come to school, we treat them just like students. We have a strong chaplaincy. For us, we believe in teaching them Christianity. Those values really empower them seriously. My children spread the gospel so much. They preach. They are very active in devotions. When somebody is religious, these other things become easy to handle. We counsel them when they have challenges. And we come in when they have, especially financial challenges. We come in and assist. There are those who call and say, I'm dropping out soon because I don't have requirements. I tell them, come to school and we see. So my background...
Doesn't that tire you down?
That is why I'm there. That is why I'm there. Actually, my counseling experience has really helped me so much. Because you counsel starting from the parent to the student. So it is
like a whole bunch of counseling. Like you counsel the parent, you counsel the child, and then you also talk to the teachers.
Exactly. But when they are at school, we make sure they build for them what we call a home. And when they are at school, they are in another home. That's why many of them, given the chance, would even wish to stay at school for a year. We make sure they are comfortable there.
So now, Madam Edith, we've talked about education. The way you look very principled, and being a teacher is not easy. I don't think I can be a very good teacher because it needs a lot of patience and all that.
True.
And then you have to command, and then you have to be soft and hard at the same time. I want now to take you to family. How do you manage to balance?
To any career woman who has a family, it is a challenge. It is a challenge, but I've had this family for quite some time. You have to create time. The work is really full-time. Parenting is a full-time job, and the teaching or being an administrator is also full-time. I happen to survive in a situation where even during the holiday when my children are at home, for me I am at work. But I try my best. I have 2 homes. I have my marital home and I have a home at school. So I must visit the 2 homes.
Oh my God.
With my children. With my children. I don't leave them in one home for a week.
Oh.
No, when I'm at school, I'm there with them for some time. When I leave them at home, I make sure I go back. Sometimes I come with Sam to my office. They help me with some work. I give them computer to do some research. That's how I parent. I make sure many times I'm with them. And when they are at school, I don't miss any function, any visitation, parents meeting, I'm there. Visitation, I'm there. And I give them time.
What advice can you give career women who are out there? It may not be a teacher, but there are these demanding jobs, especially NGO jobs, these roles that are demanding. What advice can you share with us? Maybe we can learn something from you.
In marriage, communication is very important. Very important. Let your husband know where you are. Mine now knows I'm at UBC. Let him know what you are doing. Because if you keep him in the dark, he will always have questions. It seems she's here. It seems let me do this. Let him always know. Be communicating all the time. When you wake up in the morning, if he slept in the other home and you are this way, find out whether he's fine and tell him you are fine. And any minute you get an opportunity to be with him, you need to use it. We work so much, but not day and night. Most of the career women will work and have some time. Much as it's a boarding school, I must create time to go to my home. And I thank my husband so much because he's really available. Anytime I call him, are you free? Can we go here and there? He's always there. Create time for such outings. Those are things which keep marriages, lively. Not only we are teachers and we are in books and this and that.
The husband wants to be with you saying, I'm first looking at these results. Let me first mark. Because you have so many books to mark sometimes.
But when you are an administrator, as you get the job, if your boss knows that he gave a job to a married woman, then he will respect your marriage. You tell him, I have this program and the other, he will respect. Because he knows when you are at work, you are working. When you are to go to your home, that is not a very long time, you will go and come back. It's very important.
Interesting. Thank you, Madam Edith. Right now we are going to go for a break, but before we go for a break, I want to remind you to watch UBC TV. And also we are having a voting going on for the most inspiring story. Those are the young ones, the 3Oul sisters and brothers who auditioned. You go to Africa Vote. Please make sure that you vote for these kids so that we know who is the best. Welcome back to 3Oul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching us here on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. It's such a beautiful thing to be here today again. And I'm always excited when I'm talking to teachers because without teachers, we would not be where we are today. So for now, today we are here with Madam Edith Nambasa. She is the head teacher, or let's say HM in our Ugandan language, the HM of Vision for Africa, which is found in Nachifuma along Gayaza Road as you're going that side of Mukono. So, Madam Edith, I'm again excited to have you.
Thank you so much.
Whenever I talk to someone, I get to learn a few things about them. I know that you are this child, being a firstborn, you have to be exemplary, both at home, at work, you have to live a life. But I know that everyone has funny things they have done. I want to start with the primary. What is that thing that you did that was so funny that every time you look back, you will say, oh, this was really funny?
Primary was quite so many years ago. But like I told you, I used to foot from home to school. And it was so tiring, of course. And I remember one day, together with my colleagues, we looked for a way of dodging school, at least for once. So on our way to school in the morning, we found dirty water, smeared those things on our uniforms. We went back home. I told my father I fell while I was going to school.
Does he know about it?
I don't know whether he remembers. So that day I didn't go. I think I was in P4. I told him I fell on my way to school. I couldn't reach school, so that's why I'm back. And no, he wasn't home. There was a maid. But I had to know that day I had not gone to school. I think that's what I remember in my primary.
What about now when you started? Because when you go to secondary, but now you're in boarding, you cannot be among those that walk home and men start disturbing
but
you.
I still, like youth, we looked for ways of going home. You know, when you are in a boarding school, they pay school fees every term. There is a way you feel bad when colleagues are going home for fees, and for you, they don't read your one name. So one day I hid the bank slip, the copy of the bank slip, and I said they must read my name today, so that I go home for some days. I didn't know, because I was so naive, that there is something called a bank statement,
Yes,
which
so
the
it
bursar
goes to the
uses.
system.
So I waited, they didn't read my name. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to go home, at least for some days, as a school fees defaulter.
Yes.
But the deal flopped.
Can you imagine?
So,
And then the other thing, Madam Edith, I want to take you back to, we're in Kampala.
Yes.
You are used to your English, you're in this good school, you're speaking your Luganda, and then you had to go all the way to Western for your senior one. First, take us through that experience again.
Thank you for that question. I think in my school life, that has been the most interesting school. Why? My father did not step there. It was far.
So Hannah, who took you to school?
It's a friend of his who got me the vacancy there. He's the one who took me. We used to go in a bus. The bus would get us at Cesar Square here, take us to school, bring us back to State Square. My father would pick me from there. And because we were far, we were a bit stubborn, and knowing your parent will never come. So nothing will be reported.
No phones.
So that school has been a very, very interesting, and I know my OBs and OGs are watching. We really enjoyed life there, I would say. Those of us from Kampala were special. It was in Bunyoro. We struggled to learn Bunyoro. Those of us who were struggling were special. We would speak Luganda and English.
And then they also want to speak Luganda.
Were really special. It was a good school, but because I think my father was far, I was not performing well in senior one.
But how can you perform well when you're enjoying the school in a stubborn way?
We are enjoying, because in that school, we used to report, and for a full week, no lessons. Teachers are still reporting back. No prep. There's no fuel in the generator. There were shops nearby. We get permission, go and do some shopping. There was a lot of pork in the neighborhood.
So you would go and eat pork.
That is how it was. And the person who was performing very well in primary, my parents got concerned. So concerned. I actually grew up with a stepmother. While my mother was somewhere. So, but the two were friends. So they came together and said, if we want this girl to excel, we must change her to another school. My stepmother, may her soul rest in peace, was a teacher at Namgongo Girls Primary School. And that's how she got me a vacancy in Uganda Matters, secondary Namgongo. So when I went there, life changed.
How did you must have been even a bit depressed.
My friend, life changed
missing
and
pork,
changed.
missing that life.
I got a culture shock. You report on Monday, Tuesday, teachers and class teaching. I wondered, what is this? It is important to go through such experiences. Actually, Dr. Imingo was a very tough man compared to the brother in the other school. Was very tough, and I think if I had not changed to Namgongo, I wouldn't.
So you go to class and you think it is a leisure-free day, and then teachers come, where are your books?
The following day, teachers are teaching. I couldn't believe.
Like the school has been functional for like forever.
My friend, promotion to the next class was a very serious thing. There I would just get automatically promoted. In Namgongo, it wasn't.
So now when you came here, and then life went back to normal.
Changed seriously. In
But
fact,
as a counselor, because I know you studied psychology, that is one of the things that sometimes we overlook. Your own experience, did you get psychology traumatized a bit or something that you can remember, that you can share with us?
You know, as a young girl, a boy, you adapt very, very fast. You adapt very fast. I performed so poorly in term 1. So poorly because of obvious reasons.
You were coming from...
But the good thing, I was bright naturally. But this was a different setting. But I picked up, and I didn't repeat any class there.
Wow. Wow.
I picked up very well. I remember one day, the only day I've ever slept. I didn't sleep. I spent the night awake, reading.
And
It
then
was
the body knocked down.
from senior 3 to senior 4. Crossing over was the hardest there.
And most schools, that's actually one of the hard classes.
But I managed.
Now, you going back to your school.
Yes.
Lately, I have realized most of the schools, most of the organizations, everyone is talking about inspiring a girl child. And as Super Soul Sisters, it's been our concern also. That's why this year, out of the public outcry, they said we need to involve the boy child. And actually we have auditions that we carried, and we have an ongoing most inspiring story that is running. And the boy child, we also included the boy child, and trust me, Madam Edith, I did know that boys also go through a lot. Because I grew up knowing my family, my dad used to cherish girls more. He would say, my girls have to study. And most people would say, girls study, but they forget the boy child. And these boys have been having so many issues. Actually, when we auditioned them, at a certain point, I broke down and started crying. Because a boy tells you what he's going through. And these are not kids who are dense. Very bright children. So now you who is coming from a school which is mixed, and then a school which has both the rich, I would say that in our lay,
different classes.
Different classes, the rich and the poor. What have you done as a school to promote the boy child?
Thank you very much. Yes, I work with a boarding mixed school, and we are aware that a lot of emphasis has been put on the girl child. Just like the girl child, the boy child needs a lot of nurturing. Because like we are told on social media, we are raising people's husbands in future. I am a mother of 3 boys, like I said in the beginning. I know what it means parenting boys. But it is true, they go through a lot. What we do as a school, we treat them the same way like girls. The good thing, the facilities there are balanced. You find schools where facilities are better for girls than for boys, but ours are balanced. The chaplaincy has helped me a lot. And the domestic, the senior man and his assistants, they organize meetings for these boys at different levels, and they listen to them. Are you aware that girls in schools these days are the ones who disturb boys?
It
is serious.
I thought it was the other way around.
Those were our days.
So now girls are aggressive.
They are girls who disturb boys, and the boy comes to report, the girl is disturbing me, I'm not interested, she's insisting. So having learned about all that, and my experience as a counselor has taught me that there are many who come to our offices and they're like, how can I handle this? It is really shocking, but it's true.
So how do you handle that?
We empower these boys. We listen to them, we give them skills. They must know about the life skills. Assertiveness, decision-making, problem-solving, we give them those skills. The fact that somebody has approached doesn't mean you must give in. If you're a man, you behave like a man, you were a student in school, then you know what brought you to school. And if things fail, let us know and we say how to help.
And how do you now handle the girl who is aggressive?
We talk to them.
You don't expel them?
Just because of talking to a boy? No. Because expelling sometimes may not help. We keep talking and counseling them. And like I said in the beginning, being a Christian school, we use the gospel so much to shape the discipline of these people. When you read for them the scriptures, when you preach the gospel, even somebody who has weird manners will have to change.
Wow.
And we train them. For us, our children do peeling, both boys and girls peel. Our children do gardening, both boys and girls go for gardening. They clean where they stay, they clean the classes, the compound, both.
Actually, there's a time I came there and I found people with the brooms all over cleaning.
You should come when they are peeling. You will see the boys. Many of them, and they appreciate, by the way, I have learned how to peel. So we train them into future husbands. If your wife is busy, working. You don't lose anything by preparing a simple meal.
And
because
where
your husband.
the world is leading now, we are no longer having maids. It's hard to get a maid.
True. So
in their time, it is even going to be worse.
Will you die of hunger as a man because your wife has delayed in the office? Some of those simple things we train them so that they are responsible husbands who also train responsible husbands of their generation.
In your school, do you happen to have such children? Since you are sponsoring, I imagine there are kids who get pregnant and produce kids and then they come back to school. Do you have any of those in your school?
Now, just like any school, I would not say it is normal, but it happens that a child can get pregnant from home and give birth. Ours being an NGO, this is the arrangement. In case once in a while it happens, a child has become pregnant, they don't come back to school. They are taken to our vocational schools for a skill. Because in a way, it sends a bad message
to
if someone is sitting in class and they know, hey, that one conceived, gave birth, and she's back. Others will think it's normal. There's no language you'll use to tell them that, you must remain in
these
school.
Are young people.
So we take them to study a skill. But we try to minimize that by counseling them all the time.
You sponsor both girls and boys?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now, from a head teacher's perspective, how do you, because we've talked about you being responsible and this, how do you manage even teachers? Because I see you have male teachers, you have older teachers, you're still young. How do you, maybe we can learn a skill from there? Because people think being a woman, there are people, Madam Edith, me and you know this.
Yes.
There are men who do not listen to women.
True.
Whether you are what or what, they'll say, me, I cannot take a word from a woman. So how have you managed to put all these people together? Because the school looks nice and organized. But, for us who come in, we just see organization. But I know behind that there is a brain, which is yours and the rest who manage the school. I
really thank God that my former boss was a woman with whom I worked for 17 years. I would watch everything she did. She managed us very well, including men and women. I am lucky to have been the pioneer head teacher of this school. So all that staff that are there, I'm the one who recruited them. They came knowing the head teacher is a woman. I don't have any problem dealing with men. I don't have. I think I'm assertive enough that when I say we should do this, God is good.
And you have 3 boys. They say bringing up boys is not, I am a mother of girls, but they say people have boys. There is a way you raise a boy which is different from a girl. Girls are a bit soft, but boys are hard. So now, the school that you're heading,
yes.
How do you people perform? Because we also want to know, maybe someone out there is interested to come to the school. So how have you been performing? And how old is the school? Because the school seems to be young.
Yeah. It's called Vision for Africa High School, Nachifuma. It is located along Kayunga Road. After Nachifuma town, you move around 1.5 kilometers. There's Stabex petrol station, there's Namioya Police, then the school on the left.
Nagalama.
After Nagalama, Nachifuma, our village is called Namioya. That's where the school is, near Stabex petrol station. That one gives us identity now. We started operating in the year 2019. This is now our 7th year. And we started with senior 1 and 2. Our first sitting of O-level was in 2022, when the S2s of 2019 became candidates.
Yes.
2022, we really thank God. I think if you asked me for my best moments in life, the performance of my children.
Wow.
Because the first sitting, the very first one, we got 111 first grades.
Wow.
With the 2 candidates getting 8 in 8, the very first sitting. God was really with us.
And these were sponsored students or
Both,
private one?
Both.
Wow.
Their parents who trusted us with their private students, even before seeing any results. Yeah. The second sitting was in 2023. They also performed very, very well. We really thank God. We thank God so much.
And have the senior 6s sat yet for last year?
Yeah, last year we had the first senior 6 class, and we got a candidate with 20 points. The pioneer class, 20 points, and some 5 got 19 points.
Wow.
They also performed well, and that's the pioneer class.
So do you still need more students? Because the school looks so big.
Yeah, there is still space for students, especially next year, for senior 1 and senior 5. Other classes, I would say, are full, but we shall have vacancies in senior 1 and 5. It is a Christian school which upholds Christian values. We treasure discipline so much. I've told you my experience in discipline.
Yes.
Perhaps that's why it is the way it is. And my teachers and staff are very hardworking. Very, very hardworking. If you bring your child to Vision for Africa High School, you will not regret.
Wow. So for those of you who are watching, let's go to Vision. Because even, you know, the president usually likes saying with the vision. So Vision, why? Maybe that's why you guys chose Vision, because Vision means you're going very far in life. So I want you to, as we wind up the show, I wanted you to teach us a few things. One, what advice do you have for firstborns who are out there, who could be young, who could be in the middle age, who are maybe tired of responsibility?
Thank you so much. In psychology, it's called the birth order. Firstborn is a blessing from God. There's a reason why God made you a firstborn, and you should be happy with it. And some of us who are firstborns are successful leaders, perhaps because of that experience of being a firstborn. So people should be proud of that. Whatever the number of siblings you have, they are your responsibility. They are your responsibility. And you keep doing the best. God has it all for you. You're a firstborn at home, you will be a firstborn at your workplace and elsewhere because of that kind of experience. It shapes you into a very responsible person. I'm a teacher of CRE sometimes. In the African traditional society, we say when someone was a firstborn, if people were looking for leaders, the birth order was very important. They would know you could make a very good...
So for us who are
yes,
the littles,
it was also a quality they looked for. Yes, if you're a lastborn, they would think, will you manage this village? But if you're a firstborn, then people will trust you.
Wow. That one I've learned it today, that when there's a birth order, usually they do that. Then the other thing is, as you already shared with us, that being a working mother, it's not easy to balance the two, but you have to create time. Now, what message do you have for people who think it's a girl child thing and a boy child is left out? What advice can you share with us about that? You being a mother of 3 handsome boys and 1 beautiful girl.
The people who think it's only a girl child, do those ones have boy children? Are those ones married, or will they marry? Will their girls get married to boys? Because you look at all those circles, you need a very good boy child anywhere in those circles. As a teacher, I want to see a responsible boy in class. As a mother, I'm raising a boy. As a woman, I expect a responsible husband. So it's very important to give attention to the boy child, because either way, you will need the boy child or the man who is responsible, who was raised very well. Any opportunity one gets to raise the boy child in the proper way, should use it, because in future, you'll have to regret if you don't do your work now.
Apart from that, I want also you to talk about education.
Yes.
Me and you know, and everyone, people who are there who are watching, some of them know. I don't want to say everyone knows this, but usually people say, you're going to do education. Really? Education? Education? Like it is so underlooked at as a cause, and yet we are the ones taking our kids to school. But as parents, like, no, you cannot do education. Maybe you can't do this, or maybe SWASA, or maybe accounting, or maybe urban planning. So tell us today the stigma behind doing education as a cause. What can you tell us? Because for me, you inspire me. You know, being a teacher, you are able to achieve all the things you had dreamt in life. So tell us, maybe share your advice with the viewers out there.
Thank you so much. People need to know that the world is changing. Maybe those are people of my age. Because in our years, a teacher for sure, people used to say that if you move along Kampala streets, you can tell who is a teacher and who is not. But now, I'm happy that there are children in the school where I work who want to be head teachers. Of course, I tell them, for you to be a head teacher, you must teach for 5 years. That is the ministry policy. You have to be a teacher first. And there are students who are saying at the university, I'm going to do education. I think because of the way we've nurtured them. So that has changed. That has changed. Slowly but slowly, even the arts teachers are getting there. But the government started with the science teachers, raising the salaries, and those poor people. Even us who are teaching arts, we cannot say we are poor. We have something from our education course. So those were gone are the days when people would say somebody whose shoe is bent is a teacher. Somebody whose dress is 20,000 is a teacher.
I remember when we were at university, you dress and then the day you were putting on a skirt and you have to say, headmistress. They would make those jokes.
Yeah, true.
Back
even
then.
Yeah, but now I think that is long gone. Teaching is now a prestigious responsibility. I like the young teachers, the way they conduct themselves, the way they dress. They really inspire these young people to know that education is a very, very good cause. The way we conduct ourselves, we don't look poor. We don't really look poor. People should do education. Yes, people should do education.
And the good thing, why I like education, it's a universal course. Because a teacher can become a journalist, a teacher can become a lawyer, a teacher can do anything because of that foundation of being a teacher. So the other thing that I want to you to share with us is being a woman in this era. Women are taking the bull by the head in almost everywhere. You see, we have the vice president is a lady, prime minister is a lady, speaker is a lady, IGG is a lady. So what advice can you give to young ladies who are out there who are getting motivated, and then also the young men?
Me, when I was growing up, I had a role model. She's my auntie. She's called Professor Victoria Mwaka. She's now retired, but she was a professor at Makerere University. She did a lot to shape my future. I think it's important to get a female role model. If the role model is not local and is international, read about that one. But above all, as a woman, we need to be go-getters, be assertive, fight for what you want always. And the men will respect you for that. Gone are the days when even at the panels of interviews, they would say, women this side, men this side. This. We can do all jobs now. And we are empowering our children and those we teach to do the same. We no longer think this is for men and this is for women. Actually, heading a school of more than 2,000 students, when you're a woman, alone inspires them.
Yeah, because people say as women that when we go through our natural menstruation time, that the mood changes. So that's what people used to think, that working with a woman, when she's there, you cannot even talk to her. So
I think that is just the feeling, just like you are a boss, maybe you call someone to your office and you roast, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. She quarreled with the husband, you quarreled with the wife. That's people's thinking.
So you get those things, people say that, madam, today,
Even when somebody has done something wrong and you're reprimanding, they'll always attach something to your emotion. So that's the feeling about women, that when it's a woman in this season, then it is this. But for us, we do our work all the time and very well.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. So what is as we wind up the show, I want you to give us something that you have learned throughout your life, that you think if you had to go and give a show, maybe give a talk, a mentor talk, what advice would you give people out there?
Okay, thank you very much. I have quite some experience. Now 7 years in administration as a head teacher and more than 20 as a teacher. It's important as a teacher, as a mother, to be a person of integrity. Very, very important. You need to do something even when no one is watching you. Do the right thing. It's very important. As a leader, you should learn how to build teams. How to build teams. I don't like a leader where, for example, I'm not in office and everything must wait for me. You should be a leader who mentors other people. Because you can die of pressure and stress if you think everything will be on your head. So you must be somebody who mentors, and you must be resilient. Administration is very challenging, but it takes a resilient person to manage. People must not know what is going on in your office. You can even lock yourself inside and cry and come out, you're a head teacher. So you must be resilient, handle every circumstance that comes. and you don't have to share with everyone. My experience in Nagalama, it has really shaped me into what I am. Like I said, when you are working, do your work to your best. And I always tell my colleagues, especially in the staff meetings, in your department, ask yourself, are you an asset or a liability? You keep asking yourself that. Are you that kind of person who, when you fall sick, people say, let that one stay home? Or you're that kind of person who, when you fall sick, they say, we are finished. I wish he was here. You have to be that kind of person, okay, who is an asset to your department and not a liability. It helps so much in leadership.
Wow. And to mothers?
To mothers who are working?
Yes, working, of course, working. And even those who are not working. Because nowadays people are interested in working mothers. They forget about the mother who is at home, who is actually working without going to the office.
Do your parenting work to your best. But as a mother, make sure you make a big contribution, at least a contribution to your family well-being. Even if the ideas, let your husband always be proud of you. If it wasn't her, I wouldn't have put it this way, it would have faced it this way. You know, you have to be productive.
Not sentence mukazi.
At least even if you're not working and your husband is working, your ideas are very important. And if you're working, build your husband. It is us, the women, to build our homes, by the way. Come up with new ideas. Let's buy this, let's put this here, let's take this out to this school. The husband will be very proud of you.
Wow, interesting. So thank you very much, Madam Edith. I've really learned a lot. You know, besides being a head teacher, you are also this person who is really nurturing and good with children. So for those of you who are watching, we've been here with Madam Edith Ntege. She's the head teacher, which you people, some of us in our days, we used to say HM. She's the HM of Vision for Africa. And if you have children next year, please go to the school. It's a very beautiful school. It is a Christian-founded school. And it is a school that it's away from Kampala, so you know that the child will not run home anytime they feel they want to come home. You've seen she has shared her story that much as she's a head teacher, she's a person who understands students. She has also been in a place where she feels like she wants to go home. And most of you who have been in boarding, like me, like any other person, we've tried to do those things and we failed, because parents always know when you are wrong. Super Soul Sisters runs on UBC TV every Wednesday, 9 p.m., a repeat on Friday, 11 a.m., and you can get us on YouTube, still Super Soul Sisters, even on TikTok, so that you get to see all the episodes that we've hosted here, all the people, and you get someone who inspires you. With that said, I want to thank you again. Thank you for watching Super Soul Sisters. Bye-bye.